Cool. Well, Tiffany, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute after the program today.
Yes, yes, I'm excited.
Me too. So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the entire world and all of us. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you do business and live today?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, previously I was what they call a road warrior. I would go out and I was doing the circuit teaching people how to flip houses. And so we would be in a hotel every weekend type of a thing. And COVID changed that dramatically because you can't be near people, right? So we went to a Zoom model, and at first it was a little bit rickety, and then being able to thrive in being able to stay home and be able to do that, it's really empowering to know you could keep on doing educational stuff from Zoom. So it was good for me. And then it actually, I ended up having an unexpected COVID baby. So I got to stay home
Oh, wow.
and be mom to my second kiddo. And that was amazing for me to be able to turn on a dime. But then understand and realize, man, I didn't need to go out on the road anymore. So it shifted the dynamic in how I operate anyway. So I've definitely just been more of a homebody ever since. And I
Yeah.
encourage that to people to the point of being a real estate investor. Like, do what you want to do. And if you're so darn hands on that you need to buy in your own backyard, that's cool. But almost, if anything, if you're too hands on, buy farther away than you would want to drive or fly. So that way you're forced to hire the right team. So that way you can run your business from the start properly without you going to go paint a wall or fix something silly. So, I think it helped everybody in a weird way in the real estate section, apart from, the rules that got created to like not let people out of their houses. That's like a whole nother turn of the story. But um, I'm grateful to be on the other side of so many crazy things and see how we could run with it and how many people thrived in it or how many people learned from it, to just know that there was like a blessing in disguise.
So let's get into the work that you do today on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of 12-year-olds. It's career day, and the kid in the back of the room wants to know what you do for a day job. How do you synthesize what you do to make sense to their brains?
Oh man, I do so many things. So I guess I would pick the easiest thing that they could understand logically, which is real estate. So if they wanted to be a landlord, there are people that live in a multitude of different buildings. You can live in an apartment, you can live in a house, you can live in a mobile home, you can live, heck, you can live in a camper trailer nowadays, right? So
Yeah.
if you aren't one of these people that can afford to buy that on your own, you could actually rent that from the owner. And so you have the ability to provide ownership and be able to let people rent that from you. And it's your responsibility to be a good landlord for them by being upright and honest and giving them a great, safe, clean place to live. And you can do that as being a landlord. Now, if you're like, if I don't want to do that, well, good news, there's a lot of different ways you can invest in real estate. That's one of many different ways. And so it's like, what does your heart call you to be? As long as whatever you feel called, you don't quit. That's the most important learning lesson of this, to either fail fast and fail cheap, which they don't even understand, but also pursue, because if you want to do a deal in real estate, you're going to have to make a lot of offers,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to tell a lot of people what it is that you do. And that's important for you not to give up easily in whatever you decide.
So when you were that age, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream gig?
Oh, my dream my whole life until I was halfway through the degree was being an astronaut. And that was a straight, legit, like going into the Air Force and doing ROTC and keeping up with my health and going for a degree of aerospace engineering. That was what I was going to do. And about halfway into my degree, I realized there were technical measurements of your exact health that would disqualify you from being an astronaut.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening is now I wear glasses and now I got LASIK, but back in the day you weren't allowed to have LASIK. They didn't know what the pressures of space would provide. And I just understood that there were other people that were going to win those couple of slots and I wasn't. And so I bowed out early. But bowing out early as a very analytical, nerdy kid was like, well, what do I do now? What can I do with myself? And I went to school with a lot of computer nerds. So I learned how to build computers and did the software side of it. That was fun for a little while. But actually, when I worked at one of my favorite jobs as a 22-year-old, I bumped into a real estate seminar that taught me how to flip houses. And that's actually where I took a wild fork in the road in my journey to say, like, wow, you can tell me how to do this without any money. I'm in, because as a kid that didn't graduate college, I definitely want to go learn how to do this without any money.
So, are you originally from California?
Yeah, originally from California, and I moved to Florida for college and then the little kind of shifteroo, and then I moved back here about 15 years ago.
So, were you of that generation where that space camp was going on?
Well, there was definitely space camps happening. I don't think I ever ended up making it to space camp. I think I had a B. My mom said, "Nope, you can't go."
Uh-oh.
It was like in penmanship. I'm like, of all things, I could
Yeah.
totally nail that.
Sure. I'm curious, what were the foundational elements growing up that made you want to get in to something that very few people on this planet ever get into, which is, getting into a vessel, going into space, and then eventually real estate. What were those things that you either saw or that was taught to you that have led to who you are?
Hmm. And that's a great question. I don't think I've ever known why. I think it was the idea that I was a small speck, like being ultra fascinated in the sciences and maths and knowing biology goes down to the atom, right? But then it goes all the way up to like Earth and then the universe and then all the way above that, that I could get maybe a different perspective to study the sciences from space to understand maybe a different world of what we have. Um, why I wanted to do it so bad was just because I'm driven. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I'm never going to quit on that dream until I absolutely am told that I cannot do it anymore. And then you have to bow out of that dream. But being a very driven person, whatever I chose next was like, all right, I'm going to do this until I can't anymore. So being able to go accomplish the very next thing, which the biggest thing that I feel like I've accomplished is being able to conquer real estate investing a very variety of different ways. And then I realized, well, I'm not just driven with one straight path. I like to win and then go to the next one, win, get to the next one, go to the. So I was like, all right, I'm going to flip, I'm going to hold, I'm going to landlord, I'm going to Airbnb. Now I'm the bank. And oh, now I want to own a fund. And so I just kept getting bigger and bigger for all the steps that I wanted to go and conquer and say I've been there and done that.
So what did that pursuit of going to school and wanting to get into an aerospace program, what did that do that has lent to you being in the real estate world? I mean, there had to have been things that you learned and accumulated over that lifetime of wanting to get into that world that lent to what you're doing today.
Ooh, I I think it's gonna boil down to my childhood. Like, I had a mom that was like, you can do it. Versus, I know some people that had a mom that was like, wow, you're dumb and don't try. And, you should get out while you're ahead. Don't even go to college, right? I did have some family members that were like, well, none of us have gone. You shouldn't have to go either. Just get a job and stay here. And I was like, no, I understand the requirements. I've done the homework. I even was trying to learn Russian because I was like, I'm going to go to the space station. Like, I'm going to go talk to the Russians. And I did that on my own. It was like, I know what I need to do to be able to make it happen. And so my mom was like, I believe in you. I think you can and I think you should. And what do you need to do next? It was like studying, getting good grades, showing up, being committed to that, and then figuring out um, just all the little pieces of myself that were like, well, I can't. You have somebody there that was your encouragement, which is now who I feel like I've become in an adult, is the encourager on the other side. Because that's naturally the gift that I have fallen into that I realize I carry with people is like, gosh, I had someone that believed in me and it carried me so far. And now let me be that person for you to understand, wow, I believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself. Let me hang out with you and then pour into you.
So who's been that hero? Who's been that ultimate source of inspiration that's allowed you to navigate from your dream into this world of the real estate being successful? Who has that been for you?
I could say the constant thread of where I find everything in my life is through my faith. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he's paved the way and that I'm forgiven, even whenever I plan to do a million wrong things. And my faith has been my solid rock because it's like, and when life sucks, I can make it. But at the same time, the people who I've looked up to are the people who have always done more than me or done something crazier than me. And my mentors, I have one particular real estate mentor, and he just was a bundle of spicy energy. He was like, of course you can do it. Just make an offer. Just show up. Please just tell me. So it was those people that carried the energy that I carried, almost like this vivacious zest to like, of course there's a way. We just don't know what it is yet. And to be able to live that as your mantra is like, but also I have to pray to myself, to my God, to say like, close the door if you want it closed because I'm going to keep knocking. Also, open the door if you want it to make it away so that way I can be successful in the things that I'm working on.
So if you could meet one person on the planet right now, maybe it's a couple, maybe it's someone in real estate and someone that is in the that's been in the space program or that was an astronaut. Who would you love to meet, sit down, talk to that might help you on your journey or understanding what this dream meant for you
Mm.
and where you're going with real estate and what you're doing today?
You know what's interesting is I'm a huge fan right now of Layla Hermosi. I just love her philosophy, I love her realness, and I love her like no BS approach. And I think occasionally you're like, I just want to hear you tell me what you would tell me instead of what I hear you tell a bunch of other people. So she would be somebody that I totally look up to. And I just admire her frankness and spunk and just how real she shows up on social media and how much she's accomplished with her husband, of course. She's probably my favorite right now.
Yeah. So what is it that what's the energy every day for you to do this job at a high level? I mean, when you get involved in a real estate and selling, I mean, that's a huge thing for people to find a place to live and I mean that it's just a big thing. So you're getting all these people depending on you for that. You have your family, your soul. What is that energy every day for you to do this at a high level and to be effective at it?
Ooh, that's a great question. I believe you have to have the brain for it. To the tenacity, right? The grit. But on top of that, I have this brain that people would liken to almost like I not like I have ADHD, but I definitely have hundreds of tabs open in my brain that are a constant to-do list or a constant connector of me or a constant like, oh man, I just thought of that person. I should say hi to them. And it's keeping the network of the people that I do these deals with really close to me and at least letting them know that they feel seen and heard and that I truly care about them, that it's not just like a transaction and I'm trying to get something out of them. And in this space, it's actually because I've graduated up to the point where I'm doing mortgage work instead of just owning property. And in the mortgage space where you're buying debt, it's actually a good old boys club. So you legitimately have to just schmooze with the guys and say, like, how are you doing? I love your work. Can I get on your list to see that any assets that you have available? I could get that email because it's not on a website. It's legitimately like, let's trade these with each other type of a thing. So being able to remain present, hang out and provide. And the way that I've been able to accomplish that is by showing up to say, "Hey, my name's Tiffany. Who do you want to know?" And they're like, "Wait a second, you don't have a pitch for me?" I'm like, "No. I know so many people. Maybe I can show up today to provide value to you and we can establish a relationship where I've given first. And then we'll figure out where we should go from there." And I believe sometimes they call it like the giver's gain and several other different books that are written about it. And I lean into that really hard now in the last few years of my life.
So let's say you walked into you had a dream tonight. You walked into a room and your 18-year-old version, ready to go to school, ready to get into a rocket and leave Earth. And you walk up and there's a film projector and you click play and there's a 60-second highlight reel of the life that you've actually lived, the choices you've made. Would that young version of you believe your life turned out this way?
No, not at all. Not in the slightest. I mean, it would blow me away. The forks in the road that I've taken and what's all happened, and to catch me at 18, I don't even know what I would tell myself if I only had 60 seconds, other than like, buckle up, Tiff. That would be wild.
So would you give any advice to that young version?
I mean, there's like a couple of things, but I try to never live a life with regret.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I go say, don't do this or don't, do something, it would alter to where I've gotten now. We talk about like altering timelines in the Marvel universe, right? I
Yeah.
don't want to alter that timeline because I wouldn't be here now with exactly everything that I have. So don't get me wrong, I would love to figure out what that advice would be, but that would still be going back and changing the course of time.
So in that 60-second highlight reel, what are you the happiest about, the proudest of?
Probably my relationship with God has grown closer and that he's blessed me with two girls that are just copy pastes of me and that I have the ability to influence them and be their encouragement. And at 5 and 8 years old, they are spicy already. So I have the ability to like push my ideals on someone small to be able to say, you can do it too. What do you want to do? And figure out how their personality works in this world. Because I truly believe that I will keep showing up no matter what to provide encouragement to anybody that I bump into. So my responsibility that I carry is being able to be present and keep showing up. So I go to networking meetings, I go try to meet people. I try not to be a shut in because where I make the most difference is being actually around people because I can provide that to them because it's something that just naturally that I have the gift to be able to share with people. And if I was just to shut myself in and maybe have some sort of silly desk job and not be an entrepreneur, that would that would not give me what I need, the freedom to be able to be that butterfly to everybody else.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you could get into a room of everybody that's known you in a professional business sense throughout your career, and you could walk to a podium and tell them a fun story about your life, maybe the first concert you went to, a sporting experience, a travel experience, something that would humanize you, a fun story, what would you tell that room?
Oh man, a good fun story to humanize them. Um, Possibly to humanize me, I think it's to probably talk about a failure, right? Like, hey, listen, I look like I'm cool and I look like I'm collected and I look like Tiff's got it all going on, but I am a horribly broken person that needs to seek motivation daily, like Zig Ziglar says, right? I need to encourage myself. I need to draw close to the people that are the mutual friends around me that I consider my peers that also encourage me. So that's why I'm a real big fan of hanging out in networking groups because I don't want to have people drag me down. So but at the same time, I need them to know that I struggle so much through so many things. And it's finding the hope and finding the joy and choosing to have the positive mental mindset to go through everything that I believe allows me to train your brain to recognize that instead of training your brain to be like, well, what's going to go wrong today? Because my life totally sucks. It's like, today is a gift. What am I going to do? And that I understand every relationship I have, every room I walk into is with purpose, and I just get to find the joy to figure out why I'm there. So it's like a treasure every single moment that I have that I'm given, even in a canceled appointment. It's like, oh no, somebody canceled. Are they okay? Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to have this 30 minutes back to myself. I'm finding the joy intentionally in everything that I do.
That's a true answer of an entrepreneur right there. Because
I
it's
love
the
that.
fail. I mean, that's what you learn from. I mean, that's
Yeah.
genuinely the biggest one. So let's get to the true intersection of your soul. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you in varying capacities, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I want to be known as an overwhelmingly generous giver of my time, my heart, my energy, my if you need me to pray for you, if you need me to sit down with you, if you need me just to listen, if you need me to give you advice, right? Like I want them to know that they could call me and I will do my best to drop everything to give them the few minutes potentially that they need and just that I made everybody feel special in the moment that I was with them. I wasn't preoccupied with like, well, I also want to scroll on my phone while I'm talking to you. No, no. Tell me about you. I want to know. And I want to bank that. And I want to remember you. And I want to be considerate and thoughtful.
So I keep thinking about space, but if you got into a time machine, you could go back in time and witness one event in human history.
Hmm.
Where would you go? What would you love to have seen happen with your own eyes? And it won't create a weird tear in time. You just get
Hmm.
to witness it and come back if you want.
Man, that's a good one. It would probably be like the first spaceship launch, right?
Yeah.
Like just to see that. Because I truly believe that my dream is partially shelved, not going to happen. Meaning now it's the other side of I'm not going to go through NASA. I'm going to go through the commercial space program.
Yeah.
Like, let me just go to space for funsies instead of going as a scientist under the government regime, right? So I believe being able to see that would still carry my dream of going up into space someday.
So were you by Cape Canaveral when you were down in Florida?
Yeah, right. I went to school in Daytona Beach.
Okay, so did you see a launch? Did you
Oh yeah,
witness?
yeah.
Okay,
You just
because
every day, every that there was a launch, you would drive over there. It's only about 45 minutes.
so what did it feel like? Like I'm always curious, like seeing that happen. Do you feel is there what's the whole like oral sensation of watching a rocket leave Earth?
Oh, it's like it's out of this world, right? Like it's you can hear it from like 100 miles away, and you
Wow.
can see it from hundreds of miles away. And so I got always as close as I could, but a lot of them were scrubbed, so you're tired of like driving out there to never see it. But never being able to get close enough where you actually can feel some of the actual like like the movement of the air and so
Yeah.
forth. It's still just mind blowing. Like I remember one very specifically, I didn't make it to the launch in time to get as close as I want, but pulling off over the side of the road is like, this is it. Like there's people on that rocket and they're going, and what are they going to go do? And I wanted to be there, but I'm so grateful somebody could be there
Yeah.
and that we're going to learn so much more about more of this world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, Aspen Sage, any of the other good business that's going on in your world, how do they do that?
Oh, my favorite place to hang out with all my entrepreneurs is on LinkedIn. So you can find me, Tiffany Alexander, under my fund, Aspen Sage Fund. I do have a YouTube channel, so you can go follow any kind of amazing real estate tips that I like to cover, Aspen Sage Fund on YouTube. And then on my podcast, I've got in Unveiling Journeys, where I like to interview phenomenal people and ask them why they keep ticking and why they keep showing up. That's on YouTube also. And then wherever else podcasts show up. And there's so much more. There's so much more. But those are probably the easiest way to find me.
Okay, I will put all those links in the show notes. Tiffany, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for taking a minute out. Great to meet you, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you so much.
You bet. And I